Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV Florida time. And what is going on this morning here in the Ice Age TV? Got the pool cleaner over here to the right, doing their duty. Morning. How are you? Good, good. Hey, thank you very much. Same to you. Yeah, there you go. See? How about that? You get the right attitude of the day. I just said Merry Christmas back. I like the Merry Christmas spirit, right? Yeah, so here we are in the YouTube Ice Age TV conversations, and it's not real cold. So, but it's not warm either. Today, it's about an hour in the pool over there yesterday, and that's actually next to our neighbor's pool cleaner. You know, she's been around forever. Since I've been coming down here, I've seen her take care of this home, even though it's changed hands, ownership. And anyway, so spent the day yesterday afternoon from about 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And that was pretty good, even though it was kind of chilly. Should probably have a cold, right? But I don't. But that was to get over there and spend some time getting some exercise. You know, being down here in Florida, not as easy for me to stay active because I'm here more in this parents' home. And when I'm up north, I'm always on projects and walking between property and working and hitting out of vehicles all day long. So look at there. There's your morning sunrise. And that's a challenge for my mom. This sun rises up in the morning and it gets so sunny in here, she just can't. Her eyes just irritates her eyes too much, so she says it's kind of working. The kid thinks it's working. Lauren tells me before popcorn, before a ride, she's got the pink eyes not spread to her other eye. Now I'm thinking, yeah, I'm next. We went to the doctor and got the meds for her eye, but this morning she's like, now it's my other eye. Yeah. And my parents are all concerned they're going to have it. Yeah, have you know these stories? I even had a cup of coffee. So, what's the plan, right? What's the conversation I thought about this morning when I woke up? You know, I just like to talk. I've told you over and over again, watch my channel. I just enjoy talking ideas, thoughts, views. That's all it is. And it's not awful quiet and buying any vehicles. What's it? 32.9. So, yeah, I thought to myself when I got up this morning, the plan. Even to me, I was thinking, I would think I've made a theme, a plan. I'm just thinking out loud here to you, thinking to myself this morning. So, I don't think I have. So I thought, hey, that's probably a pretty good topic because you're coming to the end of the year, and anybody that's of my age or maybe younger or older, the year, I mean, it's beyond believable that the year has passed us. I mean, just wow. It just to me, it's just beyond believable that another year has passed in my life and others' life as well. Who was here at the beginning of the year and who's not here at the end of the year, right? And as the year continues on. And what was the plan for people this year? And that's what I was thinking to myself this morning was, you know, what's the plan? As you know, with New Year's Eve or New Year's is right around the corner. You have to say to yourself, what's your 2023 plans? I mean, that's a big thing. People get their, like the fitness gyms, isn't January like the biggest subscription or join month probably in the fitness industry? I mean, as far as I know, years ago it was. Everybody, your brothers, plan is after they eat during the holidays, and their plan is to lose weight. So tons of people plan to go join the gyms. And usually what I've noticed back in the day when I went to the gyms was if January, the gyms were packed. In February, still pretty packed. March, it's just kind of the trend of the excitement of your plan to get back in shape and lose weight. It seems like as time progressed, it kind of faded away. Or I guess some people just accomplished what they wanted and that was it, and then they're done, and they're, you know, they don't want to go to the gym anymore because they lost their 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever it may be. But they had a plan, and that's how I was thinking to myself this morning is the plan. I'm thinking of this past year. What was the plan overall? You look at here. We talk about here's a lot. Jesus, thought they just had a lot. Here is my mother's uncle, Lon Allen Scott from World War One, Marine, and he actually became a congressman for the state of Tennessee. So my mother's side, there's a very distinguished man that sadly died young from cancer. But I found that in my dad's drawer here yesterday. I thought, wow, I need to recognize him. And that's something. They're just going to show you there's an individual that who thinks about him. Yeah, could I see a video of him, of who he was and how he acted and what he did, right? I mean, somebody that signed up to sacrifice himself for others and protect others. Right, what was his plan? Well, he had a plan. He joined the military, and eventually he became an attorney, and then he became a congressman for the state of Tennessee. But he never had a plan to die. I mean, that's the thing about it. Anybody will tell you. Whoever had a plan to die, I mean, sincerely, have you ever heard anybody, I mean, per se, I'm not talking about the loonies and I'm just saying in general. Has anybody ever said, yeah, I have a plan at X age, I'm going to die this way, right? But yet, what do people worry about all the time besides dying and whatever? But never have heard that exact plan play out to a T unless you're some radical person that's on a death wish that's, doing bad things, which, yes, sadly, that does go on. So, yeah, they had a plan, and they knew that plan was to make them be dead as well, but with others, too, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so I thought to myself, just this past year, what was the plan? What was the plan of? So I'd like to just talk about the car industry. What was the plan of the car industry? I thought the plan was to get the chips back up, the semiconductor kind of back in order, and get the new car market kind of back in order. I can remember so well back in early, I would say like spring 2021, summer 2021, that auto executives were speculating that probably 2022, they'd probably kind of start to see the semiconductor business kind of come back and get the new car inventory kind of back in shape. Well, if anybody's paying attention, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that haven't accomplished that well. And there are a few. I mean, Ford, I think Ford has. I think Dodge has kind of done the Ram product, and Jeep have seemed to be, reasonable. When you go to Toyota, I think Toyota's been very challenged, and I'm sure others can say of other brands too. But what was their plan? Their plan was to try to stabilize the automotive market, and then what was the plan of the used car market? Was the plan of the used car market to see a tank? I mean, I don't think that was the plan. I think everybody probably knew that was inevitable eventually, just based on how the new car market would catch up to the good old days. So from what I kind of heard last year, that the plan, what people thought the plan was, that the used car market would start to lose value. So I don't know why this year is such a surprise. I mean, it's kind of it's interesting that this year, I think last year we knew that the used car market had an X amount of life of being overinflated, and eventually that would change. But yet this year, there's so many YouTubers that make one YouTube channel after another that continue to talk about the used car market has crashed. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that $15,000 car that was worth $30,000 is now worth $20,000. I don't understand, or $25,000, how that used car, only if you bought the car for 30 grand, then yes, you're the guy who got burned. But if you held on to your car, you never got burned, and you still have great value used car. So don't get that conversation. And then the plan with Elon Musk. I mean, what's Elon Musk's plan? Oh my gosh! But before I get to that, the what's really interesting here is the Japanese company's plans are not to be caught up in the EV. The EV movement. I mean, there's a whole article. And I was reading the other day in Toyota, I've talked about Toyota, the head of Toyota before, that he's just not getting caught up in this EV movement. And even Nissan and Mazda are on the same page, that they're just not as excited about converting all their manufacturing to EV vehicles. They're kind of trying to sit back a little bit and see how the trend is. And right now, borderline, the trend is the EV market, as hot as it was, are people clamoring to get EV vehicles. Now you have $2.50 gas again, $3 gas. I think that people are, and the price of EV vehicles is going through the roof. The Ford F-150 truck is now 35% more than it was this past spring. Wow. I mean, think that through. We're not talking 10 years, we're not talking 2 years. We're talking since spring of this year, the Ford F-150 Lightning truck, electric truck, I should clarify that, the F-150 Lightning truck, electric car, its price is 35% higher. Yeah, I mean, at some point, if you're an individual and you have to spend, let's just say, 20 grand more for an electric truck over a gas truck, I mean, sincerely, are you going to burn through $20,000 worth of fuel to justify the electric vehicle? I just can't see it. I can see the being intrigued to buy one because it's the latest, greatest technology. But as far as your plan, what's your plan with it? I mean, and to me, I'm no different. People are buying these things. The plan is to get the latest, greatest technology-driven vehicle, and that's what it's all about. Is it really about them saving any money on energy to go from point A to point B? No. You could argue all day long about that. Now, if you get the real base Pro, but even at that, those have all gone up too. So, I mean, if you try to go EV to ICE right now, it's still overall, we all know the real answer. The ICE vehicle is more affordable. So, but if you're on the page in life that you want to save the world, I guess, you think that's to save the world, good luck, buy an EV vehicle. That's your agenda. But I think it's more about just the technology and the comfort and the convenience and all the things that come with the EV vehicle. So what was the plan? And the plan right now is for Ford, they're going to ramp up even more F-150 production and EV production, even though the speculation in the market is that people are pulling back on EV vehicles. But their plan is to continue growing the EV, manufacturing. And then you have the Jim Farley, who the plan back this past spring was, I was told from key individuals that run dealerships, that the plan of Ford was to make it order online only to get dealer inventory, meaning they weren't going to continue to stock their dealer lots with just dealer orders. And Jim Farley had a big master plan of kind of getting the Tesla model business plan where people had to order their vehicle to be able to buy a vehicle from Ford. But yet, what I'm seeing right now, that plan is gone thrown out the window. You can go right now and just go to Kuhn's. If you want to get intrigued, go to Kuhn's.com and just go to Kuhn's Ford infrastructure of their just how you use it, Kuhn's Ford, one of their stores. And if you look at the inventory of new inventory they have right now, it's huge. It's huge. It's borderline going back to pre-pandemic. So for Jim Farley's plan, if you ask me, I know how it plays out. It's the unions are controlling the ball game, meaning that union guys got to get paid. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit here and are you going to idle union people and pay them while you have manufacturing facilities that need to keep on running, and then you just have to gamble that the market, that the plan, you have so many YouTubers, their plan is that what they see in their YouTube channel, their plan that they revolve their channel around is day in, day out, is the gloom and doom of the whole country going broke, the whole car market going broke, the whole housing market going broke, the banks going broke. So their plan and their YouTube channel content every day that they, do what I'm doing, their plan is to continue to talk about how everything's going to go to the ground. It's going to be financial havoc like never seen before, and you'll be lucky to have any food and gas and water and electricity. You might sound radical. Just start YouTubing the gloom and doom, and there's a ton of them out there that their daily plan is to tell you that it's over, beyond over. So that's their plan. Now, kind of moving away from the car, theme talk, even though what's the long-term plan for the automotive industry? It would seem like they would want to get their semiconductor business back in line and get production back in line and go from selling 11 million new cars a year to back to the 18 million cars a year. And even though the used car market's like 40 or 50 million cars a year, which is just that's really the market, for these car dealerships. Believe it or not, maybe at least half or more of the cars, even before the pandemic, would be used cars. If a car dealership sold 400 cars, 200 of those cars would be used cars. So the used car market has always been a huge, factor in the infrastructure of the car industry. And I've said it before. The old saying is the plan of dealerships are they give a new car to get a used car. That's the whole idea. That's why they sell new cars, is to capture the used cars, which gives them bigger margins to profit off of. That's nothing new. That's been going on for 40, 50 years. So, but then I think to myself, what's the plan of this governing body of the country? Even for me, I just think to myself, what's the plan? I mean, it's pretty obvious. The plan, it seemed like in the beginning of the year, was to support a Ukraine war with Russia. I mean, does this make any sense? I mean, they just passed a bill. There's a bill that if it goes through the House to keep the government from shutting down. I got an itch here. I don't have pink eye. I just got an itch. Like there's a hair right here. Or am I kidding myself? Am I getting pink eye? Probably. You hang out with a kid, what happens, right? You get sick, whatever. So, what is the problem? I mean, what is going on with Ukraine? So there's a bill right now. There's like an 848, there's billion. Even when I say that number, to keep the government open between now and December 23rd, which is what, only like 3 days away. They have to sign this bill to keep the government funded, and it looks like it's probably going to be passed because the Democrats hold the House. But in that, it's like a $48 billion, with other things in it, bill for Ukraine. Man, I swear I just heard we gave the Ukraine so many billions of dollars. Then we heard in billions of dollars. I mean, what is the plan? What is the plan with Ukraine and Russia? I mean, sincerely. I mean, what is the plan? Besides, they're just obliterating each other to, killing people and blowing each other up. And we're now funding the war for Ukraine to fight Russia. And Iran's funding the war for Russia, and whoever else out there is funding, Russia's capabilities, or you giving them technology, and the list goes on and on and on. I wonder what Lon would say about it. I wonder my Uncle Lon, what would if he has said about all this? You know what I mean? How old do you think he was there? My guess would be he was like 30, probably. That'd be my guess, 28, 30. Yeah. What would be his position? The war. So you're a military person, you just don't, you're just like anything else. So you're in an industry or service sector or whatever, you kind of understand more. If you're outside of the military, you just don't know because you haven't been around it to understand. But the whole point is, what's the plan? Besides, we're just shoveling money in Ukraine left and right. What's the end result? I mean, borderline, you have to say to yourself, couldn't we just taken and paid off Russia to leave them alone? I mean, think this through. For Russia, my guess was that, Russia, the Putin man, punting man, punt him out of power, could we just have paid him off $1 trillion and say go home? Because at the end of the day, this is going to be $1 trillion war, isn't it? I mean, we're at the billions between both sides, right? Couldn't we just have come to the table and said, look, hey, we're gonna go through close to $1 trillion funding this freaking war and loss of life. Why don't we just pay you, just a ransom thing, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, could we just have bought an island? Could we have gone to somewhere else in the world with the people in Ukraine and put them somewhere else, and let's just Russia have that piece of land and let the people live somewhere else for all the money we're spending? I mean, it's just in life, it just cracks me up on how as individuals we get fixated on a plan, but the plan's not working. I mean, just like the green agenda. I mean, oh my gosh, is the plan working? There's no doubt about one thing: the pain in the plan is definitely working. I mean, that's what I was just going to say a minute ago. For anybody here in this sitting administration, the plan is to eliminate fossil fuels. They've point blank said that. And the pain at the pump was at the beginning of the year, but that was more related to the false information of thinking that when Ukraine went to war with Russia, that sanctions on Russia, not selling oil, was happening, but it wasn't. I mean, it's just beyond believable. So the markets thinking that Russia isn't selling oil and the market's gonna have a tight supply. Yeah, how did that play out when it was 120 back this past like early spring? Now it's down like the 70s. I think it'll be in the 60s before it's all said and done. I'm not talking about the weather, I'm talking about the barrel of oil. Yeah, and then here the plan. So then the city administration is being praised because they're saying now this is, and don't take it the wrong way, I'm all for profits. So what they're saying now is the city administration is being praised, I think by select few, that they sold 184 million barrels of oil in the market when it was like at $97. So apparently this administration is being recognized for a $4 billion profit off the sale of the oil. And I think to myself, well, if you didn't pay anything for it, I guess you made that amount of money. But if you didn't have to pay money for that, the 184 million barrels of oil that were in the strategic reserve holding tanks, didn't we pay something for that? I mean, was that $40 barrel oil, 50, 60? I don't even know. But I just think to myself, it's a no-brainer. If you pay $50 for a car and you sell the car for $100, did you make $100 off the car? No, you made $50 off the car. But here's the thing. If you sell the car for $100, you paid $50 for it, but then you have to buy another car for $70, then you didn't make $50. You made $30. So where are that numbers coming from for $4 billion profit or, the good of this administration? But the thing is, what I read is they're not going to replenish that 184 million barrels of oil anytime soon. They're just going to do it over the next 3-4 years or 2 or 3 years. And maybe in this spring, they're going to replenish 3 million barrels of oil. So you think to yourself, wow, what's that plan? I mean, sincerely, what is the plan with that? They're depleting the reserves, and they're talking about how they're going to evaluate what they think this country even needs on reserves for the what if something happens. Now, wouldn't you think that if you're the opposing governing bodies, that you hear that this country has very small reserves? I mean, what's the first thing you're going to think about in a military move to cripple a country? Yeah, it's energy. Hello? Energy and food. That's what cripples a country instantly in military moves. I mean, so it's like they're announcing to the world, hey, by the way, Russia, just so you know, Russia, or China, just so you know, we have like barely any reserves of energy at this point in this country. And yeah, God forbid we go to war, and that ends up, being a way of just, I mean, hello. So what's the plan? I mean, I'm just asking. As an individual on my YouTube channel, I'm just trying to think of common sense. Maybe I guess I don't have any common sense. Maybe buys, what was my plan? Yeah, I'll say, yeah, where's the common sense on that? Right. So for me, what was the plan this year? And in all sincerity, I never even had the plan. It kind of went into a blind plan as I started buying cars. I really never, January this past year, did I ever think this year is going to be one of my biggest years ever in my lifetime of buying one vehicle after another and selling vehicles. I never had that plan. That plan just, that played out by accident. To think to myself right now that I'm pretty confident, I still haven't written it down, I need to before the year's out, pretty confident I did 22 vehicles in 1 year, not including motorcycles. If you include the motorcycles, then 4 Harleys, there's 26. 1 Indian, that's 27. And did I buy my Africa Twin this past? I'm just trying to remember about the Africa Twin. I don't know. But I did the second one. That'd have been 28. But I'm not sure on that. And yeah, so I'd have to say, so for sure, 27 vehicles excluding trailers, lawnmowers, tractors, other things that I bought as well, right? Jeez. So, yeah, so for me, the plan, never had that plan on getting that many vehicles this year, but that kind of played out. Just a crazy year for me, and I guess it gave a little entertainment for the people that will follow my YouTube channel to see that I am a crazy man that buys cars. It is an ICE HGV, internal combustion engine age, even though I bought a bunch of electric vehicles. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe for me already that I bought 3 Broncos this year. And I only have 1 at this point because I sold the other 2. Traded 1 and sold 1. And then it's hard to believe that I've already bought 4 electric vehicles. I bought 2 Mach-E GTs, but I've already gotten rid of one of those. And I bought 2 Ford electric F-150 trucks, and I got rid of one of those. But right now, my other F-150 truck is supposed to be delivered this week. That truck's supposed to be here at Kinstone Ford maybe today, later this week, or next week. But does that even play out? Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be challenging because that's all about what do I give up to get that. That's where that's all going. What people don't know is for me, it's all about bankers. You get to a point you're like, no, no, you're not adding another vehicle, which I don't disagree. Do I? Yeah, famous last words, right? I got to get a coffee. Looks like a military guy, and Lon Allen Scott was his name. And who thinks about talking about him? I mean, really, just incredible how you think to yourself as us, 100 years from now, who's talking about the Iceman? I mean, sincerely. Who's talking about, it's just we're out of sight. Out of sight, out of thought, right? Not so much because, but anyways, so the plan, so this city administration, it's obvious the green agenda is the plan. And it's all about getting away from fossil fuels. It's all about getting away from the red meat. It's all about the agriculture. So many things that they have a plan for. But yet, at the same time, for those that, I guess, support the plan, what's the number of people supporting the plan? And at the same time, did anybody plan this year to spend a lot of money? Does it just seem like this year? It just seems like here in this year, and you could say last year, but just it seems like the spend the money is just through the roof. That everything's just so expensive. That's my perception. That's why housing. In fact, here in Florida, they're saying the housing market, yeah, it's definitely had some change, but it's nothing radical by any means. They're saying over in the Disney World, Disneyland, Orlando area of Florida, the average home still sells in 4 days. So for the Florida market, there really isn't anything radical on the housing market that's changed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's some people that may have to take a little more time to sell their house or may have to get discount a little bit, but it's not what so many analysts or their plan was predicting through their YouTube channel that the whole market's just going to collapse. And I would, once again, now we're into 2023. All you're hearing is the speculations now are 2023. And for anybody that had money in the market, was your plan that you'd have less value in your 401k? And I don't think anybody planned that out, but I think that most people saw that where the country's direction of the people that are running the country and the world, challenges. There's so many variables that we're all caught up into the whole world. And here's the thing: what's the next plan on the Title 42? Which they just extended the Title 42 of not letting the illegals just freely roam in our country because of the COVID-19 restrictions of Title 42, and it was supposed to expire like I think today, I think it was, or whatever. But now the Supreme Court has put a hold on that and they continue to mandate that Title 42. But what's the plan? I think to myself, what is the plan with our governing body? What's the plan for all these people who are coming here to our country by the droves? What's the plan? Why don't we just give them legal citizenship? If you think it through, nothing's being accomplished by them, us taking the illegal immigration. Why don't everybody that walks across the border becomes a legal citizen? And you have to pay taxes into the system and get a job. Why don't we have that? Why don't we just go ahead and open up and say, okay, every person shows up, you're going to be a legal citizen, here's the paperwork, we have computers, we have technology. They want to hire 87,000 IRS agents. Why wouldn't they hire 87,000 Border Patrol agents that could sign everybody up to have a Social Security number to collect tax off of them? Hello? You can't make this stuff up on how these politicians and how the governing bodies think. Think that through. Put 87,000 extra Border Patrol agents on the border, and every person that walks across has to sign up for a Social Security number. And so when they're employed, they got to pay in the tax system. But hey, that's not a great idea. What's a better idea is let's hire 87,000 IRS agents to go after all the existing citizens and let all the illegals come in here and just ride off the tax system and live off the tax-free monies, right? The plan. Is that what the plan is? I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, we're at the 30-minute mark. I know. About 20 minutes in, most people probably start yawning. But I just saw this morning. I would throw out the idea. What's the plan? And what's your plans for next year? What are my plans for next year? What am I going to do? Am I going to reverse all 22 purchases? Am I going to go from having too many cars to barely having any cars? Probably the smartest thing I could do financially in my lifetime. But yeah, right. Didn't say I was the smartest guy on the YouTube channel network. If you're tuning in tuning for that, then I'm sorry if I've disappointed you. So I'll give you ideas. Not saying all my ideas are the best, but I just like to give ideas. All right, but got to go to work. I was going to call it the routine. Maybe tomorrow's conversation we call it the routine. Okay. Too many ideas, too many thoughts. Got to get off. Got people bugging me already. Got to respond to those. And it's a 30-minute mark. I got to cut myself off. So what's your plan? What's your plan for the holidays, for next year? What's the plan? What's the city administration's plan? I think we all know what that is. Yeah, right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching my channel. As always, appreciate the select few that do. I'm not the big YouTube star out there, which I don't care. I just like to talk and make videos. That's all it's about. And what's my next adventure? Boy, it's just I've lost all my momentum. Everybody, hey, have a great day. Stay safe. God bless.